Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm the Sterninator and we have another exciting entry today into our latest run of videos. If you watched our videos last week, you know that we're doing a run of Elden Ring bosses. With the release of Shadow of the Erdtree, the new expansion for Elden Ring, I wanted to tackle these bosses and looking at what if they were Pokemon. So that's what we're doing today. Last week we dropped one for a different boss. Spoilers ahead, by the way, if you haven't played the expansion and if you don't want to be spoiled on any of the bosses that are coming from that expansion. So this is your warning, because last week we did another boss. We did Romina, Lord of the Bud. So today we are taking a look at Midra, Lord of Frenzied Flame. This one is really exciting because on first glance I kind of looked at it and I thought, how are we gonna turn a skeleton with a head that's on fire into a Pokemon? I played with it for a little bit, looked at inspiration from other Pokemon that existed, and I think that I came up with something that feels very reminiscent of a Pokemon, more so one of the Ultra Beasts. And once I accepted, okay, this may be more Ultra Beast than Pokemon, I began to kind of understand the direction that I wanted to go. So I wanted to keep that skeletal body. That is a huge influence on this design. The two things that I had to keep, of course, were the skeletal body and the flaming head. And that is very difficult because neither of those things really inform a design that looks at Pokemon. So you want a cute and cuddly character who looks like they can be your friend, but also looks like they could be a fighter. It looks like they could be something you'd want on your team in the Pokemon world. Now, this thing is an absolute monster. This is a nightmare. This is a creature, a specter, hard to say, but it is a pocket monster without the pocket. This is just a monster. So how do we transform that into something that could exist in the Pokemon universe? And that's when I remembered Pokemon. Whenever I get stuck in these positions of, how do I make this thing look intimidating? I think specifically of the Ultra Beasts, such as Buzzwole and Guzzlord. Guzzlord doesn't really fit that whole mentality of, oh, it could be your friend, at least as far as I can tell. It fits a lot of the look of, this is an intimidating creature. This is a battling monster. And so utilizing that and bringing that into the design with the idea of like, okay, let's just make it fit the Pokemon universe. Let's make it handle a lot of those aspects that are very specific to Midra, and we'll go from there. Once I was able to accept that, I feel like I was a lot more able to get closer to the Pokemon design. That to say, this one, I went in thinking, oh, easy, I know exactly what to do. As I began sketching, I very much realized this is a little bit bigger task than I had previously anticipated. So I went in and I knew a couple things. I knew that I wanted to keep that slender frame. Maybe not fully skeleton with like exposed ribs and spine and just bone and flesh wrapped around them. I'd have to remove a lot of those aspects and really condense this down. But I wanted to keep that slender build. I wanted to give that illusion of bone and muscle and flesh without fully creating something that was out of a horror movie. So I came up with this idea of like almost these bubbles that are coming up to give the semblance of the bulge of bone. And I wanted to incorporate some muscle aspects in the color. And I thought, you know, Deoxys has this very interesting, almost carbon fiber type of feel to its central area. And I wanted to keep that type of vibe. I thought that's really cool because Deoxys is a Pokemon who very much emulates the human form, at least in its base design. I guess in its other designs as well, but it very much emulates the human form, and I thought, okay, I can bring over a couple of those aspects. Again, I wanted to include these bulges on like the hips and the arms and the shoulders because I felt that these bubbly shapes gave a semblance of muscle while still fitting that bone type look, while making the bones and the skeleton not look fully human. I think moving away from the human aspect of it really tears away that horror vibe or that monstrosity type look. So I included those shapes, and I'm really glad that I did because I feel like they give some personality to the design. They allow it to look Pokemon and fantastical while still giving it that illusion of something much darker there. So that ended up working, I think. Let me know in the comments what you think. Did I go way too far, way too intense into the skeletal look, or did I manage to get it kind of where it needed to be? Let me know. I'd love to hear your voice in the comments there. On the last couple videos, specifically with Romina, the last boss that we did, got a lot of really good comments, a lot of really fun conversation going in regards to that, and I had a ton of fun with it too. I mean, I wouldn't be doing more of these if it wasn't fun. So yeah, this was a ton of fun, and bringing in that fiery head really sold the idea to me. Really made me realize, okay, this could work. This looks like something that could be. This looks like a character. Funny how adding a head to a body makes it feel just a little bit more, I don't know, alive. So this is Low Frame. The name is a combination of the words Lord of Frenzied Flame, which is the moniker of this creature in-game. I also wanted to make it UB, so it is an Ultra Beast, UB Ignition. I thought that's fun. It also has the hidden ability Flame Strands, which is a common attack used by the character in the game. So it would decrease their speed and also probably burn them. I don't know. It's one of those things I struggle with. Let me know in the comments what you think for the ability. I want to make it fire and fighting type, being that it is a combination of a physical body, as well as I can't ignore the fact that its head is a flame. But there's the stats. It's a little bit taller than your average human, and the shiny, I of course had to include that blue flame, something that really strikes out as soon as you see it, maybe far off, or just, I don't know, the idea of blue flame being hotter than regular flame, orange flame, so I had to bring that into the shiny. But yeah, this is our latest what if Elden Ring bosses were Pokemon. We went and turned this monster into something, and I'm hoping it's something you enjoy. If you do enjoy it, please like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun YouTube stuff. Check us out on the Patreon. My Instagram and Twitter are located below. Stay up to date with a lot of stuff. I try to post as much as I can to YouTube, but some stuff does slip through the gaps. There's a couple things that I posted to Instagram recently that are just parts of competitions that I've been in and challenges. So I don't know if those will become videos, but you can keep track of that on Instagram. Want to keep track of kind of the process of this stuff, you can do so on Twitter. Those are the best places for that. And if you just want to support me and what I'm doing, check me out on Patreon. You'll get a lot of really fun exclusives, including sketches, including full art. So not the sped up version of what you've seen here, but the full video unedited. And I think that's super cool. So I hope that I'll see you in the next video. We've got a couple more things coming out this week, and I will see you then.